Welcome everyone. I would just like to introduce myself, Alice, and here with me today is Sissy and Lee, and we are QUT Nutrition and Dietetics students. We are here today to present our project, which was to develop an appropriate nutrition-related technological resource for older adults. Just to set the scene, as a part of our fourth year studying dietetics, we have a community placement, and the three of us have been placed at community resourcing for the past 6 weeks. The focus of the placement with community resourcing was to use technology to improve the nutrition and health and well-being of participants. We began our placement doing an extensive literature review and found out that technology didn't really exist in the nutrition field as much as we hoped, especially in the Australian context. We therefore wanted to work towards closing this gap. We began our stakeholder consultation, and this was with a Brisbane community-based service provider who would be our target group. Looking at nutrition-related technology, there are many nutrition apps available. However, their usability and credibility are often questionable. Then, we came across the idea of mobile text messaging, where several studies have demonstrated that it is a viable and low-cost method that can incorporate theoretical frameworks such as social cognitive theory to develop messages. It is a convenient, effective, and non-intrusive method of intervention. One of our major aims was to improve the nutrition-related technology available, as well as introducing technology access to older Australians. So our participants in our initial surveys identified that the common health issues among them were cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and arthritis. And the current nutrition focus of this Brisbane provider was general healthy eating and hydration. From the stakeholder consultation, participants stated that they really required the motivation to perform healthy eating behaviours. And that meant that they thought they had the nutrition knowledge already, except they needed that extra motivation to make better choices. So therefore, SAL was created, which is our automated text messaging service, which Sissy will now introduce to you.
We have recruited 19 participants who have mobile phones to participate in the trial. Before we start the trial, we called them to conduct a pre-trial survey and got verbal consents from them to participate in the trial. For the trial, we provide an automated text messaging service for the 19 participants that we have recruited. It was a 10-day trial. The participants received 2 messages each day at random times before lunch and dinner. And the messages were about nutrition facts, reminders, and motivational texts. Some examples will be shown afterwards. We also told the participants that they just need to read the messages and no reply is required. After the implementation of the trial, we called the 19 participants to conduct a post-trial survey and got some valuable feedback from them. Also, we have made an advertising video to demonstrate how this service works. So let's have a look at the video. So here are some of the examples of the messages that we have sent out. There are some general healthy eating tips. For example, we send out reminders about having enough fruits and vegetables. We also remind people to have a glass of water instead of coffee or tea, as they will increase water loss and the risk of dehydration. Also, we incorporated questions in our messages so it can be more conversational rather than just stating facts in a boring way. And we have used an online automated text messaging service to send out the messages to the participants. The total cost of the service was about $62, and it cost around $3 for each participant. So it was a really low-cost technology. And for the demographics of the participants, the majority of them were female, and they were aged from 60 to 89 years, and the most of them were around the 70s. And among the 19 participants, 10 of them have not been using technology to access nutrition information before. So let's see what's the change we made after the trial. Just to put a disclaimer, the post-trial survey responses were obtained from 18 participants, as we were unable to get in touch with one of them. A comparison of the pre- and post-trial surveys showed an improvement in motivation and self-rated nutrition knowledge, with all of them ranking themselves a score of 3 or above. It is a great improvement considering that the trial was only for 10 days, and it can be expected that there will be a significant increase in motivation and knowledge in the long term if the automated text messaging service is to be sustained. Now I'll pass on to Lee to further explain the results that we've got.
Prior to the trial, majority of the participants reported having taken action to improve their eating behaviors. Results from the post-trial survey showed that the text messages did not significantly change their eating behaviors. This could be attributed to the fact that participants have been adhering to those advices due to health conditions always advised by the health professionals. Or it could be that it is hard to observe significant improvements within a short duration. Other results that we have consolidated from the post-trial survey were that majority of them liked the text messaging service, and there was no technical issue with sending or receiving text. All of them have read the text messages and said that they were easy to understand. Majority of the participants found the number of text messages sent was sufficient, only with a couple of them saying that it's too much. Motivational text was the most preferred type of messages, which aligns with what they have suggested on the type of messages they like to receive. And participants have also expressed interest in receiving text messages in future trials. We have also gathered other feedback from participants regarding the text messaging service. One interesting fact is that some of the participants thought Sal was a real person. We have sort of achieved what we wanted with creating a virtual persona and naming it Sal. They felt that it was nice receiving messages and that Sal was caring for them. It also provided a form of social support and connection through a simple text message. The messages have helped to motivate and remind them to initiate healthy eating behaviors and provided reassurance as to what they ate or drank were healthy. It has also increased their mobile phone usage, which is potentially an important observation in this group since many older adults tend to not use the phone that their children have given to them for emergency contact purpose. Aside from this, participants have also provided constructive feedback for the text messaging service. Some participants found that it was too much to receive 2 messages a day and that 1 message should be enough. With regard to timing of messages, participant reported that he had a piece of fruit and shortly after, he received a text message that was telling him to eat a piece of fruit. Nutrition information provided were not entirely new to the participants, and some have also reflected that the nutrition advices were not applicable to their diet or disease, such as vegetarian diet or conditions requiring high salt intake. Therefore, the number, timing, and content should be reconsidered and, if possible, individualized to specific diet or health conditions in the subsequent trials. Besides this, we have also came up with several recommendations to improve the overall project. A 2-way messaging service can be used to increase interaction and allow follow-up with participants. This also serves as a form of contact and social support for the participants. For those who do not own a mobile phone or rely more on the use of a landline, an automated phone call service could be utilized instead. Email, brochure, and newsletter can be used to disseminate information and raise awareness on a text messaging service. And lastly, we thought that automated text messaging could be applied to other services offered by the provider, such as social support, where a short simple text can be sent to participants to ask how they have been doing throughout the day.
Alright, in summary, automated text messaging has been a low-cost, effective way of communicating with older adults. We have received a lot of positive feedback from participants indicating that it is a viable method that could be sustained in the long term. We would like to thank you for listening to our webinar produced with community resourcing and hope you found it interesting and stimulating. We would love to hear your feedback and comments if you would be able to post them on the collaborative site. Thank you.